What really happened to Andy Hillstrand from Deadliest Catch? Deadliest Catch may be about the crabbing industry and the Bering Sea, but the true stars of the show are its captains and their camaraderie, and Hillstrand is a name that is synonymous not just with Deadliest Catch, but also with crab fishing. Andy Hillstrand is just one of the many Hillstrand family members who have been a part of the show, and he served as co-captain alongside his brother, Johnathan Hilstrand, on FV Time Bandit for multiple seasons. However, he hasn't been seen on the show in quite some time, leaving some fans wondering where he went and whether he might return to the show. So what happened to Hilstrand? And why did he quit the show without any warning? If you want to know all about it, then stay with us until the end of the video. And let's get started. The name of the Discovery Channel TV show Deadliest Catch, which made its debut on April 12, 2005, was inspired by the great risk involved in the profession. The show emphasizes the risks that the crew and fishermen face while working on deck because they must dodge large crab pots, move hundreds of pounds of crabs across a dangerous deck, and lean over the rails to set up pots for launch or retrieval while the deck is being lashed by high waves and gale-force winds. The focus of each episode of the show is a narrative on circumstance that takes place on one or more boats. The commanders of the boat appear alongside their crew as part of the story. Friendly rivalries between the captains were also a common theme on the show, especially between Sig Hansen of the FV Northwestern and Johnathan and Andy Hillstrand of the Time Bandit. So, if everything was going well on the show, what made Andy Hillstrand quit? Andrew Paul Hillstrand, also known as Andy, was born in 1963 in Homer, Alaska. Since his mother left the family at a young age, not much is known about his mother, and he spent the majority of his early years in Homer with his father, commercial fisherman John Hilstrand Sr. Andy was raised by his father in Homer with the aid of his stepmother, Nancy Hillstrand, and he had 5 additional brothers. From an early age, he began assisting his father with his laborious work. After only 4 years of studying from his father, he brought his younger brother Johnathan fishing at the tender age of 7, and he quickly mastered the business's ins and outs. At this point, it is reasonable to assume that Andy Hillstrand, a third-generation professional fisherman, had no dreams of becoming a household name when he first started working for his father. Andy only became a star on the television show The Deadliest Catch after years of arduous struggle, and before being asked to take part in The Deadliest Catch, Andy had more than 30 years of experience working in the commercial fishing industry. He and his brother Johnathan made appearances on the show as co-captains of the 113-foot house-aft boat Time Bandit, which belongs to the Hillstrand family and was built by John Hilstrand. Andy had roles in TV shows like American Chopper, The Insider, and the Discovery Channel series before making an appearance on The Deadliest Catch. It was because of these roles that he was called to the show. Additionally, he has made appearances in a number of television shows, including The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien, the TV movie Alaskan Monster Hunt: Stranded, and the documentary reality series After the Catch. Andy acknowledges that if it weren't for the show, he would continue working for his father's company and in the commercial fishing industry. As of right now, Andy is blissfully wed to Sabrina, his longtime partner, and the two recently marked their wedding anniversary. Even though it appeared that their marriage was solid, Andy admitted in one of his interviews that it was challenging to maintain a married life while he was frequently away from home. As a result, Andy opted to leave Deadliest Catch a few years ago, which led to rumors when viewers didn't see him on the show. In the beginning, Andy Hillstrand's exit from the show coincided with the retirement of his brother Johnathan Hilstrand, with whom he practically split captaincy responsibilities on their boat, the FV Time Bandit. However, Andy was no longer a crew member when Johnathan and the Time Bandit made a comeback after a multi-season absence. Johnathan, Andy's brother, had multiple heart attacks, but continued acting in the show and working. And even after Andy departed, he returned to continue his career. Johnathan has also recently retired. After season 14, he formally resigned to spend more time with his family. Ever since Andy left the show, he has made it a point to avoid social media and public areas. He currently resides in the Seattle area and works exclusively in the construction industry. However, in 2017, Andy had to stop working in construction owing to back surgery. but he appears to have fully recovered and has started his own construction company, Hillstrand Construction, from scratch. So was Andy fired from the show, or he just deemed it fit to leave? In an interview, Andy acknowledged that scheduling problems and divergent brand philosophies contributed to the breakdown of his relationship with the producers. Over time, his situation forced him to stop doing the show. In other words, Andy wasn't fired, rather, he departed because of the producers' constant demands. Andy stated, "We thought Discovery had everything they needed, but then they came back and said they needed pickup shots, so our schedule was pretty much screwed. It got to the point in our relationship where something had to change, and we just said enough is enough, so we butted heads for a while." So the headbutting meeting led to his decision to leave the show. It seems he is not coming back to the show anytime soon. When asked what his retirement plans were, he stated that he intended to spend his golden years sailing in warmer waters, which is a certain sign that he and the crew of the Time Bandit won't be ice fishing anytime soon. Understandably, years of operating in the icy waters of the Bering Sea, combined with unfavorable weather conditions and demanding work environments, can have a negative impact on a person. Andy, who has always been fiercely independent and devoted to his distinctive brand identity, decided to leave the show early because he couldn't take any more demoralizing treatment from the cast. Furthermore, as reported by a user down in the zero-in response to a Reddit thread questioning Hillstrand's absence, the Hillstrands were subject to a lawsuit by a crew member of the Time Bandit, who was injured on one of their boats by a firework produced by their Hillstrand fireworks brand. Also, the Time Bandit, which is indeed one of the best boats on Deadliest Catch with its amenities, experienced a sudden and inexplicable engine explosion in 2018. This caused the Hillstrand brothers to put the ship on sale for $2.9 million on the Dock Street broker's site. This all contributed to the few reasons why Andy decided to call it quits. Even though he has left the Deadliest Catch, Andy Hillstrand continues to work in his own business and appear on other television shows. Andy is a successful commercial fisherman and businessman who continues to increase his riches by using various methods. His total assets include his Virginia mansion, a ranch, and other investments totaling about $1.5 million, according to estimates. Additionally, there is an online store of the official website of Hillstrand's fishing boat, where he sells cups, mementos, and shirts to supplement his earnings. When Andy is not working, he spends his free time at his 17-acre house ranch in Chandler, Indiana, where he and his wife started their own company, Hobby Horse Acres, which teaches people how to ride horses. When his daughter Cassandra asked for a horse for her birthday, the notion of having a horse ranch was born. This presented Andy and his wife with the ideal opportunity to diversify their investment portfolio. Andy spends a lot of time riding, and he has even competed in and won competitions, such as the 1998 Alaska National Barrel Horse Association Barrel Racing Reserve Championship. In 1999 and 2000, he also won the state NBHA Championship. When interviewed after his victory, he said, "It is very basic but not simple. I have to ride a horse without getting in the way of his natural movement, which takes all my emotional and mental concentration, as well as my physical balance and fitness. The horsepower provides an instant source of feedback. If I'm out of balance physically, emotional, or mentally, he lets me know right away, and that keeps me very centered." So, Andy will surely be missed on the show and on the boat, since it hasn't sold after the engine explosion. More so, the decision was rejected because Andy and Johnathan's brother Neil has some legal issues to sort out with his ex-wife. So, would you like to see Andy return to the show? Let us know in the comments. That's all for today. If you're interested in more, have a look at this video. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe.